What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I'm not a financial advisor, and oh my days, am I excited for today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be speaking about some of the most popular stocks that are out there, some of the most spoken about stocks, and some of the most requested stocks for me personally to speak about in my comment section. These are literally the stocks I get asked about the most in every single video. No matter what that video is about, some of these stocks will make an appearance. And I understand exactly why. They're some of the most exciting stocks in the market. They're some of the stocks that people are seeing hundreds and hundreds of percent of returns in a matter of days. They are crazy. A lot of them, however, I wouldn't want to make a full video on because they're just not really enough information. I don't personally have the interest on them. So I'm going to lump them all into this one lovely juicy video for you guys. So we're going to be speaking about 7 stocks. They're all a little bit juicy in nature, okay? They're all a bit crazy. They're growth stocks, they're hype stocks, they're whatever you want to call them. I'm going to briefly run through them all, speak about whether or not I think you should buy or sell if you do or do not own them yet, whether or not I believe they have either short-term potential or long-term potential, and just my general thought process on all of these companies. And I am just going to come out from the very start and tell you exactly what companies we're going to be speaking about today. So first up in today's video, we're going to be looking at Hertz, ticker symbol HTZ. Second up, we're going to be having a look at Nikola Motors, ticker symbol NKLA. Third up, we're going to be having a look at Nordic American Tankers, ticker symbol NAT. Fourth up, we're having a look at Carnival Cruise Corporation, ticker symbol CCL. Fifth up, we're having a look at American Airlines, ticker symbol AAPL. Sixth up, we're having a look at the juicy Tesla, who just broke $1,000 a share, ticker symbol TSLA. And last but not least, we're going to be speaking about Boeing, ticker symbol BA. And as a little bonus, at the very end of the video, we're going to speak about all of the FAANG stocks. So please do watch until the end if you're interested in figuring out my thought process on all of these companies. It helps me out massively. And right before we get into the video, can I ask you to please smash a like? It helps me out so much. It helps me get seen by more people. I would appreciate it absolutely massively. Please subscribe to the channel. As of right now, we're like 10 subs away from 7,000, which is so cool. And drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about any of the stocks that we covered today, or any of your favorite stocks that you'd like to see covered in a future video. So with all of that being said, guys, let's just get straight into the juicy information that you're all here for. Oh, guys, today's video is going to be emotional roller coaster after emotional roller coaster. And first of all, we are having a look at Hertz. So Hertz is a company who, from their recent lows to their recent highs, went up very close to 900% after filing both bankruptcy protection and bankruptcy. Since then, in a matter of 2 days, they have lost over 54% of their value. What's crazy about this is that it seems like every single time a company files bankruptcy lately, their stock price soars up. JCPenney is another company we saw go up very close to 500% post declaring bankruptcy. It makes no sense in my head because ultimately these shares are going to turn into zero, worth absolutely nothing. I mean, guys, really, is there much to be said about Hertz? This is why I didn't make a full video on them. They've literally filed for bankruptcy. Why would you want to buy them now, especially when they've gone up somewhere between 300 to 800%? It makes absolutely no sense. Hertz make the likes of Nikola or not look like one of the safest companies in the world right now. The stock market makes no sense right now, and this is a very clear example of that. Do I think you should buy these guys now? Absolutely not. Okay, yesterday down nearly 40%, pre-market down over 23%. In my opinion, it's just going to keep going down and down and down. If you're in these guys, I would be selling like absolutely crazy. What else is there to say other than the fact that these guys are bankrupt? That says it all, guys. If you made a lot of money on Hertz, well done. I am very, very, very happy for you, even if it doesn't make any sense to me. And do keep in mind throughout this video, I am not a financial advisor. I know this merch was meant to be out a long time ago. I'm still waiting on samples, guys. Like, seriously, the shipping time to the EU right now is terrible because of the virus. I'm sorry. I will have the store up ASAP. Okay, so that is it for Hertz. I don't want to spend any more time on them. Now, we have Nikola stock. I did actually touch on these guys in yesterday's video, but I'm just going to touch on them again for the sake of today's. A company who went up in the space of less than a month over 250%, is still up very close to 200%, despite an 18.5% drop yesterday and a pre-market drop of 7.5% today so far. These guys' evaluation is absolutely ridiculous. I see no world where these guys deserve to have a share price that is this high. You see this massive spike here, up over 100% in a day. A large reason this happened is because of a tweet, okay? A tweet from Trevor Milton, previously the CEO of the company. Now if we look here, he's the founder and he's just an executive chairman of the company. We open up reservations for the most badass zero emission truck on June 29th. Oh, so cool. The reservations aren't even open yet. You can't even reserve one of these yet. They're just letting you know when you can do so. Genuinely, what has happened here makes no sense in any way. When I initially spoke about these guys, when they were down around this price point, around the $20 mark, I thought, you know what, it might be worth a gamble. These guys have some very long-term potential. I didn't see anything like this happen in the short term, to be completely honest with you. I didn't think the ticker symbol change into NKLA, the merger going through, would have this big of an effect. And I still don't. Now, hear me out, I know it has had this big of an effect, but come on, I think that price has to drop way back down. These guys don't have revenue, okay? They don't have any physical products. They don't even have their gas stations that are needed to power their trucks. This is everywhere that they plan on building their H2 stations, none of which are built yet. I don't know about you guys, right? But from a fairly common sense point of view, you can expect this to take years and years and be very, very, very expensive. I don't see a world where Nikola is not going to be absolutely riddled with debt for a very long time. If the hype dies off around these guys, they don't get enough pre-orders, they don't make enough money, that will be even longer. The barrier to entry is just crazy. To me right now, Nikola is essentially a concept, an idea with a website. Now it's a very, very, very good concept, I will give you that. And I do see a world where these guys could, you know, be one of the biggest companies in the world. But right now, buying at this price, the evaluation makes no sense whatsoever. I do wish Nikola all the best, and I really do hope that they grow to be an amazing, amazing company, and they have a massive, massive share price. But right now, at the price they're at, it doesn't even make any sense to me as a gamble. I've read through this guy's Twitter, and I mean, the way he comes across is quite weird. I feel like he's trying to be Elon Musk, but Elon Musk has actually accomplished an awful, awful, awful lot in his lifetime. I mean, Elon Musk just literally sent people to space. And we're going to get on to Tesla later, but yeah, right now, Nikola is an absolute no-go for me. Each to their own. I will not be touching off of it. Now we're having a look at Nordic American Tanker Ltd, okay? And I did make a full video on these guys probably a week and a half or something ago. I will leave that in the corner of the screen right now if you do want to check that out. But what I basically said in that video is I would contemplate buying these guys at $3.50 to $4, closer to the $3.50 range. And the reason being is because I do most definitely see these as a very high risk play, but I also see them as having the potential to give very high returns. These to me, no matter what way you spin it, I see them as a very short term play. I think that in the short term, it would make sense for these guys to go from anywhere to $6 to $9 and potentially even further than that. But I also see the potential for these guys to go all the way back down to $1.50 to $2 if, you know, things don't go their way. So at the current price point, I most definitely would not be willing to invest. It wouldn't make sense to me. The risk to reward ratios just do not add up. I mean, to me, the upside potential right here is probably 20 to 60%. Why would I do that when I could just invest that money in a relatively safer company who I could also expect similar returns on? Definitely a company I'd have more confidence in than the previous two, but still, by no means do I want to invest in these guys. We finally did start to see a bit of a move to the upside. A lot of people are saying that the short squeeze may be over. I think it would have happened a lot quicker if the short squeeze was completely over. And the fact that we didn't see a very quick move to the upside also worries me, because I did expect it to be really fast and really aggressive. If this is a company you are considering investing in, I will say from the start that you're going to have to stay very up to date with everything that is happening, both with NAT and with oil. Again, I went into a whole lot more detail in my last video, but I will show you a few quick points. Our net profit for the first quarter 2020 improved from last quarter, fourth quarter 2019, and came in at $39.5 million against a net profit of $12.7 million for fourth quarter 2019 and a net profit of $5.6 million. So very, very good. We all know this about NAT. Returning profits to our shareholders through cash dividends is a priority for NAT, and we expect the next set of dividends to be quite high. Their TCE achieved for the first quarter of 2020 across their fleet was $44,100 per day per ship, up almost 40% per day per ship from the previous quarter. So far in the second quarter, this is something that's very important, of 2020, about 75% of the trading days of their fleet have been booked at an average price of $50,000 per day per ship. This is important because the average price for ships all over the place, not just NAT, is slowly but steadily going down. So these guys already have those $50,000 days locked in for the rest of this quarter. So while that's a very good thing for this quarter, it could be showing some worrying signs going forward into Q3 and Q4 that a lot of us expect it to be very good. If the prices that these guys can afford to charge per day are going down, ultimately they're going to make less money, and that could result in the share price going down. So right now, I'm not interested in that. If I was in them, I don't know if I'd be selling. I definitely wouldn't be buying more. It's very hard to say with these guys. I think the people who are in NAT right now are absolute die-hard NAT fans. They are watching them every single day. They more than likely know exactly what's going on. A lot of the weak hands are out of NAT now. A lot of people who ball off of the hype are out at their loss. A lot of people are also holding on for dear life, just in praying that they end up making some sort of money or at least break even. Just let NAT be a lesson to always form your own thoughts and opinions. More than likely you don't want to buy on the hype just because a lot of YouTubers are speaking about it because their CEO is very animated. We can all learn something from that at the very least. But that's where I'm going to leave them today, and we'll go on to company number 4. So I have been getting more and more questions about CCL as of right now, okay? And I think the reason being is that we're starting to see a few red days, whereas for a long time now it's been a lot of green days. They've had an incredible rally of over 200%. I mean, 100% a month is by no means bad, but we can see literally in the span of 2 days down over 17%. Recently I said that I have seen airline stocks as an enlarged version of something like the S&P 500. When the S&P 500 goes up or down, airlines go up or down about 3 to 4 times more. And then I see these cruise line stocks as an enlarged version of airline stocks, okay? If, say, for example, Delta goes down 7 or 8%, you're going to see something like Carnival go down 10 or 11%. And I think that's been relatively true thus far, you know? When the S&P went on its absolutely fantastic rally to the upside, Carnival followed suit just much more aggressively. And as of right now, we're pretty much coming out of the greatest 50-day rally in the history of the S&P 500. In the short term, I think we're going to see some red in regards to all of the cruise lines, also in regards to the airlines that I am a big holder in. And when we have these extra volatile stocks, you know, your exciting ones, your cruise lines, your airlines, that there are a lot of not particularly informed investors in, a lot of people who buy off of the hype, a lot of people who buy because other people are buying them because they're seeing massive numbers to the upside, they have weak hands yet again. So I think once this starts to sell off, which it is doing now, a lot of people are going to sell their shares. So we can take this in a couple of different ways. If you are an investor and you want to buy more Carnival, you're probably going to get it at a relatively good price soon. And on the other hand, if you wanted to invest but you felt like you've missed out on a lot of the upside potential, you may get a nice second entry point. Do I think it's going to drop back to $8? Personally, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not sure where I think it's going to get to, but I don't think we're going to make new lows. And the same goes for airline stocks, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. So for me right now, Carnival is quite exciting, you know what I mean? There's not too much new news that I haven't covered in the past that I want to go through today, you know. It's all still somewhat doom and gloom. I just see them as an even more enlarged version of airline stocks. They don't have very much government support, if any whatsoever. They've had an awful lot of bad press. It's going to be a long time before they're making money. At the end of the day, they are still speculative in nature, but they have some promising news at the very least, and if you do want to take a gamble, you may get in at a good price soon. So we're having a look at American Airlines. Now realistically, I could have spoken about Delta or Spirit or even United Airlines, but the reason I'm choosing American is because they were actually one of the most active traded US stocks yesterday. By volume, they were the most active at 163.95 million shares being traded. That's a lot of shares. So I'm sure you're all aware of what happened here. Okay, very quickly, American Airlines rallied up over 100%. As of right now, they're on the way back down, just like pretty much all airlines are. They've dropped down 16.2% so far. Pre-market is looking very bad, down another 11.75%. That could go down even lower. And you all know Delta's my baby. Their pre-market is down 13.2%. It's not looking good. Am I going to sell? No. Am I going to buy more? A whole lot more. But American Airlines, what drove this rally first of all? One of the biggest things, okay, TSA checkpoint travel numbers. And we can see that these have been going up. So if you're not aware, if we go down to when all of this began, there was a lot of 90,000 days. This means that only 90,000 people were going through TSA checkpoints every single day. As of now, we've had some 400,000 days, lots of 300,000 days. It's gone up over nearly 500% from lows to peaks. So a lot more people are flying, but it is still nowhere near enough people to warrant the rally that we've seen. And that's why I'm by no means surprised that the rally is coming to an end. Maybe I should have sold. Maybe I should have ran off with my 45-ish% profit on my two airlines and waited for this crash to happen. But you know what? I didn't. It is what it is. I'm absolutely fine with it. I made that decision. I'm sure a lot of you guys got out with some very good profit. I just plan on buying more. The other big thing that happened with American Airlines in particular is that they said they plan to fly 55% of its domestic schedule and 20% of its international schedule in July. A massive boost from last month when it only flew 20% of its schedule from the previous year in May. So a lot more planes are starting to take off. So this is good. You know, there's clearly the demand for it to happen, but it's scary at the same time. We're all afraid of the second wave. If the second wave comes, it's going to be horrible again. And you know, right now we're seeing this V-shaped recovery in the S&P 500. It could very well turn into a W, or even the start of a W and go down, and then very slow. I think everybody on this channel knows I am a massive bull on airline, but with that being said, I haven't bought them in, you know, probably 2 weeks or so because I thought that the price was going up a little bit quickly, and now I'm happy I've done so. What I will do is, if we begin to approach all-time lows again, I am going to be loading up because I am ultimately still a bull on airlines in the long term. At the prices we're seeing now, I'm still not happy to buy. You know, maybe I will be after today. If Delta goes down to $27, $26 today, I'd be very tempted, but I'm more inclined to wait until we drop below the 25 mark, even approaching 20 if that ever happens. And if that does happen, things will get scary. But there is a lot more positive news coming out in regards to airlines. What I just said, there's a lot more people flying and there's a lot more flights flying. If we're to see prices come back down to where they were here, when there was next to no positive news, it is going to make a lot of sense to me personally to pick up more shares. But anyway, I will leave American Airlines there. You all know where I stand with airline stocks. On to the next one. Woo! We are having a look at Tesla, guys, okay? One of the companies I have considered buying so many times, but just have never took the plunge in doing so. Let's just have a look at the last 6 months for Tesla, okay? From 6 months ago to their peaks there, they went up over 160%. They then proceeded to fall down over 60%. And since then, after they've started this next recovery, they've gone back up over 183%. If we look back on the last 5-year chart, okay, Tesla gives a lot of opportunity to get in, and that's why I'm not particularly excited. I wouldn't be too inclined to buy at this price point because they're just such a volatile stock. Anything can send these guys flying up or flying down. I do really heavily believe in Tesla as a company. I must say that from the start. A big reason that the stock surges past the $1,000 mark is because Elon Musk's pushing for the Tesla semi-truck to come out, and this could be directly due to the fact that Nikola is so up and coming and has so much hype around them. And if you go onto Nikola's website, you'll see that semi-trucks are a lot of what they sell. So Tesla have been in talks about this semi-truck for a very long time, for years and years, but I think this is the push they needed to make it happen. They still want to be the market leaders. They want to be the first and they want to be the best. So this push is giving investors a lot of confidence that Nikola, you know, is going to go nowhere near where Tesla is right now. So a memo from Musk said it's time to go all out and bring the Tesla semi to volume production. Already, they're very far ahead of Nikola here. They have the technology, they have their electric charging stations, they have everything in place, they just need the actual product. I'll be completely honest with you though, guys, I am nowhere near as up to date with everything that's going on in the world of Tesla as an awful lot of other people are. Some people, Tesla is just their life, you know, it's all they speak about. They speak about it every single week, multiple times a week. To me, it's not that to me, you know, I'm not that interested in them. In the long term, I see absolutely immense potential. In the long term, I would be very confident betting that $1,000 will be a good price to buy at. But in the short term, I would also be fairly confident betting that it will fall down a considerable amount. We've just seen it happen so many times with Tesla in the past. They get these massive moves and they get these massive pullbacks. This is one where you definitely have to go ahead and do your own research, do your own due diligence, form your own opinions and decide what price you are happy to buy them at. Because although they are an absolutely amazing company, like an incredible company who more than likely will change the way the world works, there is a lot of speculation in regards to them as well, you know. When you're paying for Tesla, you're paying a premium for Elon Musk. But that premium could pay you back an awful lot of money. But anyway, that is where I'm going to leave Tesla. We're having a look at Boeing, and here on the 28th of April, I made a video speaking about Boeing and Airbus and when I would be happy to buy them, okay? And in that video, I believe I said somewhere around the $100 to $120 mark was where I would really like the look of Boeing. And there was a stage where very briefly, they were exactly $120 and I did not end up buying because I wasn't confident enough to do so. Now, I'm kicking myself, you know, there would have been a stage where they gave me back close to 100% return. But look, you win some, you lose some. I did my research, I formed my own opinions, I made my own risk to reward ratio, and I missed out. It is what it is. Very similarly to airlines as a whole, these guys saw an incredible rally, probably a rally that was not completely warranted, okay? And now on the shorter time frame, we can see that they too are starting to crash down, not as quick, but we can see today as well, pre-market, another 9-ish% is on the way down. Personally, I absolutely love Boeing as a long-term company, okay? But in the short term, they're even scarier to me than the airline stocks themselves. Boeing need these airlines to start doing well sooner rather than later so that Boeing can provide them with more planes. One thing about Boeing though is they do also provide, you know, jets and things of the like to the military, the US military, so they are backed by the US government to an extent, which does obviously make them a little bit more appealing, a little bit safer. I mean, they give, you know, airplanes, attack helicopters, Apaches. Oh, it's all so exciting. One promising piece of news is that they said it expects regulators will recertificate the 737 MAX, which has been grounded since March 2019, in time for deliveries to resume during the third quarter. Personally, I am not very confident buying these guys at the moment. As I said before, I would have been very happy to buy them somewhere between $100 to $110 realistically, so right here doesn't make much sense to me. Now their 6-month highs are, you know, pretty much $350-ish, but Boeing are known for share buybacks as well, so that would have heavily pushed the share price up. And if we go back towards the start of 2019, we can see that they were actually up at $422 at one stage. It is still a company I very much so want to own, and I will heavily consider buying into them if they're to dip below probably $130 this time around. That may happen, it may not happen. It's a very tough call for me to make, but as of right now, definitely not interested at this price point. Okay, and then I said I would briefly touch off of FAANG stocks at the end of the video, so here we are. Pretty much the whole market is red at the moment, except for these FAANG stocks. These guys are managing to get a little bit of momentum, you know. Green days pretty much all around, except for Facebook, who went down 0.8% yesterday. Amazon went up 1.8%, Apple went up 2.6%, Netflix up 0.1%, and Google up 0.7%. So obviously not great by any means, but in a market that is going down, there's a lot of sectors going down 4, 5, even 10% a day right now. This is very nice. And I think what the market's doing right now is very interesting, you know. It's like last week, it was the airlines and the cruise lines and all of the spec stocks were doing really well. This week, or maybe the next 2 weeks, it looks like all of the FAANG stocks are going to do very well. And then what's going to be next? Maybe the hotel and restaurant related stocks. It just seems to be going in a circle, you know. It's like not everything can go up very quickly. They have to take one little sector at a time. Now, I own all of the FAANG stocks aside from Netflix. I'm not going to go in depth. I do personally think that they're all pretty much at a good price right now. I'm currently up 5% in Google, I'm up 6% in Amazon, I'm up 8.5% in Apple, and I'm up 1.5% in Facebook. So I bought them all, you know, very close to their recent highs. I only got into these guys maybe a month ago or so, and as of right now, I'm happy to see them going up in value. But the FAANG stocks to me, guys, are no-brainers. I would pretty much be happy to buy them at any price point whatsoever, and I will buy them pretty much every week, or at least 1 or 2 of them every week. But that was just a little bonus I wanted to add into this video, because these seem to be the stocks that are going to perform well over the next week or two, so it's well worth keeping an eye on them in my opinion. So guys, I do hope that you enjoyed today's video. These are just stocks that I am being asked about constantly, but don't feel the need to make a full video on, so I just lumped them all in together, baby. If you watch until the end, I appreciate you so much. You are genuinely helping me out. A lot of people don't realize, but the longer somebody watches a video on YouTube, the more YouTube is going to be willing to push that video to other people. So a high watch time equals more views for me, equals I'm very happy, and I love you long time. So please smash that like button if you did enjoy the video. Drop me a comment again, it genuinely helps me out so much, and I know that you guys who watch till the end are the real supporters, so it would mean an awful lot to me, and I always reply to everyone. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. If there is any stocks you would like to see me go more in depth on, let me know in the comment section down below. I appreciate you all. To the end of the world, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you for tomorrow's video. Peace.